Hello, parser people. Welcome to a Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It is Text Adventure Tuesday. We have a really cool game tonight. We have Perdition's Flames by Michael J. Roberts. I'm actually just stoked that it has cover art. So I wanted to share that. It is a 1993 game. It is written in TADS. This was the writing engine of choice for pretty much the whole time between the end of the Infocom era and the beginning of like the modern interactive fiction movement. This is what the first game that we ever played, Babel, was written in, and it was really like a watershed moment to be able to make interactive fiction, to make text adventures in a way that was accessible to people. I really do think that, one of the really cool things about interactive fiction in general is that, like, it is made by hobbyists, made by enthusiasts, after really 1990. And that's something that I love in games in general. It's why I really loved Flash games, because it brings, some of the games might be like rough around the edges, but really it just brings a different vibe to the games in a way that, I don't know, I feel most people don't necessarily have. So I think, just in general, the kinds of people making games were making them because they really, really did love making video games, making text adventures that spoke to the specific things that really mattered to them. So I really love this specific era. All of the games that I've played from this era, and I've played a couple. One of the coolest was The Sound of One Hand Clapping. And they're not necessarily like perfect games, but they're definitely more than just interesting. They're definitely something that I'm happy to show off. So with all that, I don't know Michael J. Roberts' like whole set of games. This is I believe, relatively early game for him, which I think I also really like early games. You see what people are interested in, what people are trying their hardest to emulate. It's kind of like with music. You always, want to see the debut album and things like that. So I don't know. Let's get started. Not capture. Compatibility capture. All right. So I also love how this game begins. One of the if you play lots of text adventures, You get very used to the first line of this game. You have died. All is dark and quiet. There is no sensation, no time. Your mind floats peacefully in a void. You perceive nothing, you feel nothing, you think nothing. Sleep without dreams. All is hazy and gray. Sensation is vague and indistinct. Your mind is sluggish, sleepy. You see gray shapes in a gray fog. You hear distant, muffled sounds. You think, but your thoughts are fleeting, disconnected, momentary flashes of light in a dark night. Time is still frames, separated by eons of nothing, brief awakenings in a long sleep. All is clear and sharp. Sensation crystallizes from a fog. You see, you hear, you feel. Your mind awakens. You become aware of a place and a time. You are on a boat. Perdition's Flames, Tad's Interactive Fiction by Michael J. Roberts. Version 1.01. Release 02/02/03. So this is the 2002 tidying up, most likely. So thank you, Michael J. Roberts, for making, hopefully, what's a cool game. Hell is paved with good intentions. Fortune cookie. We're on a boat, on seat J33. You're in the main passenger compartment of a large luxury yacht. Your seat, J33, is a large plush seat next to a window that occupies most of the wall. The boat is about half filled with people of various ages and races, most dressed in casual clothes. A stairway leads up, and another compartment leads south. Beginning my wonderful map. So, yeah, let's take a look around. Are we on the... Yep. So let's look at ourselves. JRM were here, she would always want me to try that. JRM, my co-host, will be back in a couple weeks. She is on vacation. I don't know the word self. X me? You look about the same as always. Okay. What's in my inventory? You are empty-handed. Great. So south and up. Okay. What can you tell us about this boat? I don't see a boat here. We're on the inside. That makes sense. Let's look at the people. Look at all the lonely people. The other passengers are doing pretty much what you're doing. Trying to get their bearings, looking around, quietly examining their surroundings. You don't recognize anyone, and no one seems too interested in interacting with others. Let's say hello. I don't understand this sentence. Okay. What about shouting? Your throat is a bit sore now. What about crying? Very impressive. Your throat is a bit sore now. Can we sing? I don't know the word sing. Okay. What about dance? Can't sing, can't dance. Let's get this out of the way. Let's zizzy. Okay. Cool. Nothing cutesy. So, okay. Let's look at the seat. It's a large, plush seat, labeled J33. It's a window seat. Look out window. It's quite dark outside, but a red glow on the horizon provides enough oh, hey. That is something that happens that I always forget to fix. Thank you for saying that. Likes the bait. How's that sound? A little bit better? It is a weird thing with the way that the... Awesome. So looking out the window, it is quite dark outside, but a red glow on the horizon provides enough light to see that the boat is traveling rapidly down a wide river. You can't make any detail on the banks. The waters of the river are dark and still below a thin film of mist, which the boat seems barely to upset. So I don't know if you were here earlier. We are dead. We are on a boat. That's about all we've gotten. Yes, you came in on the exact first scene. If you want, what we got was hell is paved with good intentions, and we are on a boat, on a large luxury yacht. We're in seat J33. We looked at some people, nothing special, and yeah, that's it. So we have south and up. Let's go south. Oh, we're not going to go anywhere until we get out of seat J33. So let's get up. Okay, you're no longer on seat J33. All right, south. What's south of us? You're in the yacht's wet bar. The only exit is north, back into the main cabin. A bartender is here. Well, shoot. Let's look at the bartender. He's a middle-aged man with slightly graying hair. Let's order a drink. I don't know the word order. Ask bartender for drink. Right away. He gets out a large mug and fills it with beer from the tap. He hands you the glass. Get glass. I mean, the mug of beer. There's water? Get all. Get beer. Get mug of beer. So this is, you already have the mug of beer. Hey, all right. Get glass of water. You have to ask for the bartender for that. Talk to bartender. I don't know the word talk. So it seems like asking or, you know, it might be Infocom style. Bartender. Hello. Okay, no. So it's just ask for maybe tell. Let's try tell. Bartender. Hello. Okay, yep. So it's just ask for that kind of deal. All right. Ask bartender for water. Water? Come on, live a little. Yeah, this is also a little earlier than some of the text adventures we've played. This is running. This is written in TADS, which is the writing language before the one that's currently used. Most people writing parser text adventures now are using Inform, which is a lot more fluid in how it will take commands. TADS is still a little inflexible. But it's also 1993. So I'm okay with that. Running something like this, if it were written in the past couple years, maybe it would be more of a flaw. This is actually before. So this was 1993. This is 2 years before the first IF comp, which was sort of where I draw the line between vintage text adventures and modern. Oh yeah, we played one of the best ones that we played was oh gosh, I'm blanking on the name. Was The Weight of His Soul, and that was the full version was released last year. And most of them, so this is, most of the modern ones are designed around competitions. So they're designed to be about 2 hours of playtime. This is a little bit before that. So I'm not totally sure how long it is. I've looked at some stuff. But we'll see. Asking the bartender for water. Water? Come on, live a little. Yeah, let me actually distract myself completely really quick because I think it's super super cool. Spring Thing. We played a couple of games from Spring Thing earlier in the year. And that was the last big competition. But there's like 10 years of that. So, okay, we can't get water. What if we drink the beer? You drink the mug of beer all at once. It's very good. You notice a slight alcoholic buzz, but it clears fairly quickly. After you finish, the glass vanishes into thin air. Okay. Can we just keep asking for a drink? Ask bartender for beer. Right away, he gives another glass. Let's hold on to that. The bar is large and well stocked. Several types of beer are on tap, all imported, you assume, given the circumstances. An enormous variety of liquors fills the shelves behind the bar. Okay, you know what? Let's ask the bartender for a bourbon. Right away. He gets out a small glass and pours you a drink. He hands you the glass. Huh. Okay. Is there anything else in here? We have a bar. We have a bartender. The only other exit is north. Okay. Oh. There we go, verbose mode. So I don't know what other people tend to do when they're actually playing. I almost always need verbose mode because I forget what's around, what the exits are. All right, let's go up. We're on the deck. You're on the deck of the yacht. You have a clearer view of the river and the shores from here. The river is very wide. The shores are rocky and desolate, with only a few short, leafless, twisted plants growing along the riverbank. The sky is densely clouded, but not dark. The clouds reflect the red glow that seems to come from the horizon in all directions. It strikes you that it's exceedingly quiet. You hear no noise from the boat's engines, and even the boat's rapid slicing through the still waters seems to make no sound. It is so quiet that you hear only your own breathing. You realize that it's surprising that you're breathing at all, given that you're dead. A stairway leads down and a doorway leads east. You see a printed note here. Let's look at these plants more. They are all leafless and dead looking. So that's definitely like something, and I'm still like trying to get a clear picture of like how text adventures evolved over time. But I remember in A Mind Forever Voyaging where like you would look at something that it recognized as a noun but didn't really have much information about, and it would be like, it looks like a normal plant. And that would be what it said for everything. Oh, it looks like a normal window. So at least, even if it's repeating what's in the room description, I kind of appreciate that. Let's see. Anything else? Let's look at the sky. I don't know the word sky. Shores? The shores are rocky and desolate, with only a few short, leafless, twisted plants growing along the riverbank. So it's kind of cool to keep focused, too. One of the things that happened in The Weight of His Soul, because it was a really linear game, but it had just so much description for every single item that it was really easy to get lost in that. I actually kind of appreciate that. It's like stop investigating everything. This is just the third scene. All right, let's go east. You're in the boat's control room. A large window looks out onto the river. A doorway leads west, back out onto the deck. The boat's pilot is here, operating the controls. Alright. Ex-pilot. The pilot is here, operating the controls. Alright, great. The controls are not important. Alright, dude. Oh, nice. Hey, Geneva. How are you? I hope your workout is going as well as possible. Alright. Ask pilot where we are. I don't know the word where. Ask pilot. Ask pilot. What do I want to ask him about? I don't know. Ask pilot about destination. Yeah, location. That's a word. A word that they don't know. Ask pilot about boat. Got it. This is a very nice boat, don't you think? We used to use a small rowboat, but lots of people complained that the passage to the afterlife should be a little nicer. Besides, with more people dying these days, it was getting crowded. The captain starts fiddling with the controls. We're there, he says. Outside, you can see a pier come into view on the western bank. The captain guides the boat silently alongside the pier and brings it to a halt. As the boat comes to rest against the pier, a gangway extends toward the boat and settles on the deck. Attention, passengers, the captain says into a microphone. We have arrived. You may disembark at your leisure. You see a few passengers start to disembark. I don't see any passengers here. See if the captain has changed at all. Nope. All right. Disembark. Okay. Let's do this really quick. Okay, there is no exits command. That's unfortunate. I guess if it's the western bank, we go west? Yes. Okay. Nope, we're back on the deck of the yacht. Did we read that note? Let's find out. Reading the note, I am not going to read all of this, but it is the copyright for the game. I do love that it's just kind of in there. The game is freeware. Please see the included README file for details. Funnily enough, the README file is in a LaTeX file format, and I have nothing that can read that. It was implemented with TADs. I remember being a kid and trying to use TADs to write something. It did not work. But it's still available. If you are like, very programmery. LaTeX. Yeah, kind of like HTML, except for printing. It's what dissertations at least used to be laid out in. I think math dissertations still are. If you need instructions for playing this game, hey, you're already on the third screen. You probably know what you're doing by this point, but let's check out the instructions. I'm about to show you a full set of instructions. They're enormous. If you want to capture this information to a file so you can print it out, for example, answer no below and use the script command. Then answer the instructions command again. Yes, just show me all the instructions. So this is also like a big thing, I think, with this era and really up to about 2000 with adventure games. They're like, look, this is an adventure game. It's a text adventure. This is how you use a text adventure. There is a really, really great 5x7 note card guide version kind of this on I think it's Andrew Plotkin's on his website. It's like zbarf.com. So wow, this is a lot. Objects. So like it's interesting too because this stuff would have been in a printed instruction manual for most other games. So like the Infocom games all came with instruction manuals that had, especially for their games, like specific things that you could do in them. And then a lot of times it also had like, okay, yes. Ask wizard about is the talking to command. That's great. This is the old style kind of text adventure. It does have a score. This is always kind of nice. There are 666 points in this game. We'll see if we can't get them all. Probably not. Okay, so there's it and them. Oh my gosh, this is a lot. Saving and restoring. Save, restore. Okay. Special commands. Oops and undo exist. That's great. Hey, did you know computers have a keyboard? Wow, that's a lot. Okay. That is quite a lot, but for someone who had never played a text adventure before, I remember reading a lot of these as a kid and appreciating them in a lot of cases because they will show you like different verbs that you can use. Right, what were we doing? A stairway leads down and a doorway leads east. A gangway leads west onto the pier. Yeah, it's wild. Like, it's why I love having my co-host when she's around because she'll be like, look, like, here's a verb that you might want to try. Oh, yeah, I would never have guessed remember is like a common verb. But a lot of times with like vintage stuff, you can pretty easily find the manuals, and that'll help a lot. Like when I played A Mind Forever Voyaging, I was like, oh, I've played enough text adventures at this point. I don't need to read this manual. Doesn't look like there's much in here other than like some cool art. And because I didn't actually read it, I missed an entire command that you needed to actually play the game. Like there was like a specific like record command. Yeah. No, Space Quest, I have not gone down. I'm actually just starting going down the Sierra line. For that same reason, I've like struggled getting anywhere in them. I'm doing Phantasmagoria on Fridays right now, and it's like a lot to try and figure it out. And that doesn't even have a parser. Like the old games, I've taken a look at like, gosh, what was their first game? Mystery Mansion, right? So I was looking at like a lot of ZX Spectrum games, and it was like, oh, I'll play Mystery Mansion. Why not? And could not figure it out. But it looks like we can go west from here. So let's do that. Not east, west. You're on a large, brightly lit pier. The pier is obviously quite new. It's constructed from steel, and the walkway has a rubbery surface and attractive wooden handrails to make it safer. The large white yacht, which brought you here, is docked alongside. A gangway leads east onto the boat's deck. To the north lies the entrance to a large one-story brick building. The building has the look of a high school or post office. That sort of simple utilitarian style of a government building. You see a rope here. Your score just went up by 13 whole points by getting off the boat. Excellent. Well, let's get the rope. What's the rope look like? It's a thick rope, about 10 feet long, for securing boats at the pier. One end of the rope is tied into a loop, so it can be slipped over posts on the pier. Okay. The yacht is the boat that brought you here. Okay. Doesn't seem to be anything else, so let's go north into the briefing room. Okay. This is a large room with a high ceiling, brightly illuminated with fluorescent lights. Most of your fellow passengers are here, sitting in folding chairs facing a podium. Many empty chairs are available. An exit leads to the south, and another passage leads north. Rad, thank you for coming out, likes the bacon. See you soon. The podium's not important. I'm going to sit in a chair. As you sit down, a middle-aged woman enters the room and walks to the podium. Good evening, everyone, she says, addressing the assembled group of passengers. Welcome to the afterlife. I'm here to get you started, give you basic information about the underworld, and answer any questions you may have. Let me start by saying we're very glad to have you here. Just take your time getting acquainted with your surroundings. There's no hurry. You're going to be here for a long time. She chuckles and smiles. Seriously, though, I think that you'll find being dead isn't very hard once you've found your way around. Now, once you've had the chance to explore for a while, you'll probably want to find a job. There are many very interesting positions available, and we'll be happy to help you find something that's right for you. I'm sure you all have many questions, so don't be shy. Who's first? Someone at the rear of the room raises his hand. Yes, you at the rear, the woman says, pointing to him. It's hell. It's hell. You have to work in hell. Well, maybe not, actually. Is this heaven or hell? He asks. The woman responds, You know what they say. If you have to ask. She chuckles. It is technically hell. Although that's such a loaded word. We don't like to use it. Most ideas people have about hell are very outdated. Ever since the deregulation of the afterlife industry, we've had to compete with heaven for eternal souls, because you're free to switch to heaven at any time. So we've been modernizing. There really isn't much eternal torment these days, for example, and thanks to the Environmental Cleanup Super Fund, we have the brimstone problem mostly under control at this point. Okay. Ask woman about job. You use the word first. Ask woman about Superfund. So I definitely think like the design of this is interesting, to give like such an awesome genuinely awesome little dump of interactive fiction here. But it's still too early to expect people to be like, no, tell me more about the super fund. Maybe positions? Ask woman about heaven. Try as you might, you can't seem to attract her attention. Someone always gets in with a question first. Someone at the left of the room raises her hand. Yes, you at the left, the woman says, pointing to her. Can I go back to Earth as a ghost and haunt people? She asks. The woman responds, No, unfortunately not. However, our top scientists are working on this problem, and the latest reports indicate that it may be possible in the near future. Those of you with specific backgrounds, in particular those of you who went to Caltech and really understand what makes a good prank, may want to look into joining the project. Ask woman about Caltech. Aw, boo. I wonder if that's a reference to, oh gosh. I think it's an Infocom game that's like The Lurking Horror. Time passes. Someone in the middle of the room raises her hand. Yes, you in the middle, the woman says, pointing to her. I was wondering, where is the famous all hope abandon, ye who enter here sign? I want to get some pictures with it, she asks. The woman responds, Actually, the sign said Lasciate ogni speranza voi centrate, and I'm afraid it's been taken down. People found it too depressing, but there are several very nice vista points you can find in our tour book. Someone at the rear of the room raises his hand. I could do this all day. I wonder how long it takes. Yes, you at the rear, the woman says, pointing to him. Which circle of hell are we doomed to? He asks. The woman responds, We abolished the circle system shortly after the Middle Ages, after the separate and unequal principle was ruled illegal. You're free to go wherever you like, even up to heaven. Someone at the front of the room raises his hand. Yes, you at the front, the woman says, pointing to him. Why did I end up here? What did I do wrong? He asks. The woman responds, really, you must shed your outdated notions of hell. You don't have to do anything wrong to end up here. New souls are randomly assigned to heaven or hell based on the last 4 digits of your celestial security number. The heaven-hell border was opened a long time ago, though, so your initial assignment is not permanent. This guy had a lot of fun writing these. Oh my gosh. Someone at the left of the room raises his hand. Yes, you at the left, the woman says, pointing to him. You said we could go to heaven. How do we get there? He asks. The woman responds, the easiest way is to use the Hades Corp Space Needle. It's impossible to miss. It's the tallest freestanding structure in hell. The view from the elevator is fantastic. Yes, you in the middle. You mentioned jobs. What if I don't want to work? There you go, Geneva. There you are. The woman responds, that's up to you. Dead people have no material needs, and unlike in real life, you'll find that you won't need to eat or sleep every 40 or 50 turns, which is a real convenience. However, most people like to feel useful and derive a sense of purpose from their employment here. Yes, you at the left? I used to work as a lobbyist. Are similar positions available here? He asks. The woman responds, absolutely. However, you may find that there are quite a few lobbyists in hell, which will probably not surprise anyone. Incidentally, anyone with an interest in public affairs should turn into H-SPAN, which broadcasts programs that cover a wide array of current events. I believe the station number is 319. I don't know if that's just flavor or not, but if there is a TV, I am absolutely turning on cable. All right, how many more of these are there? Yes, you near the center? I am a very rich individual, and I refuse to be treated in this manner. I've made charitable contributions all my life, and we've never beaten the help. Not when they didn't deserve it, anyway. The lazy bastards. This is an outrage. You can be sure you will be hearing from my lawyer. What do you have to say for yourself? He asks. The woman responds, I'm sure you have a very good case. However, I'm afraid that the legal system in hell is based on the United States judicial system. So, as you must know, the courts are so overloaded with frivolous lawsuits that legitimate claims, such as yours undoubtedly is, cannot be accepted. Any lawsuit found to have merit is immediately and summarily dismissed. There are some very good personal injury lawyers that you may wish to contact, though. On the one hand, I want to move on with this game. On the other hand, these are getting better every time. Yes, you near the center? I used to drive nitro-burning, ground-pounding, 6-second funny cars. Is there any chance I'll be able to shake hands with the devil while I scream through the gates of hell? She asks. The woman responds, I'm afraid that due to the volume of new immigrants, the devil is unable to personally greet each new arrival. All right, we've finally wrapped around. All right, well, get up. Someone at the left of the room. Oh, okay, yeah, we have entirely wrapped back around. So it doesn't really matter what we do in this case. Nice. Let's go north. You're in a large courtyard surrounded by buildings. To the south is the immigration building. To the east is the Department of Motor Vehicles. And to the west is a celestial security office. An archway leads out of the courtyard to the north. In the center of the courtyard is a vending machine. This truly is hell. It looks similar to a soft drink vending machine, but it's labeled Space Needle tickets. It has a slot labeled 20 helmets and a small receptacle. I have a mug of beer, a glass of liquor, and a rope. Okay. What do we got? Let's go to the Celestial Security Office. You're in the Celestial Security Office. At one end of the room is a counter, and next to the counter is a wastebasket that's full of crumpled up paper. The exit is to the east, and a door behind the counter leads west. Behind the counter is a middle-aged man dressed in a light blue Celestial Security Administration uniform. You're relieved to see that there's only one person in line. You were afraid that the line would be longer with so many new people arriving at the same time you did, but this will obviously take no time. The Celestial Security Office notices you enter and looks up at you. "I'll be right with you after I finish with this applicant," he says. The Celestial Security Officer asks the young woman, "What is your middle initial?" The woman replies, "G." The officer slowly and carefully transcribes the information onto the application form. Classic. Okay. Let's look at the officer. He's dressed in drab, light blue Celestial Security Administration uniform. All right, fine. The Celestial Security Officer asks the young woman, "What was your date of birth?" The woman replies, November 12th, 1959. The officer slowly and carefully transcribes the information onto the application form. Ex-woman. She looks to be in her mid-30s. Hey, all right. Celestial Security Officer asks the young woman, "And your date of death?" August 23rd, 2022. The officer slowly and carefully transcribes the information onto the application form. Waste paper basket. What was it called? A waste basket. Just call it a trash can. Gosh. It's a waste basket. In the waste basket, you see some waste paper. Get paper. Do you have any deceased dependents? No. The Celestial Security Officer doesn't let you. "Those contain private information," he scolds you. "Besides, we recycle all of our paper. We're trying to be environmentally conscious." "Do you wear any prescription eyewear?" No. There is nothing else in this room. What is your IQ? I'm not sure. All right, let's do one more and then head out of here before I get caught in another loop. How many fingers am I holding up? 3. All right. Only the Celestial Security Officer moves to block your way west. "I'm sorry, only authorized personnel are allowed in the back office." "Do you know your blood pressure?" 130/70. All right. Well, so security office wasn't all that useful. Let's go east, the DMV. DMV won't be a waste of time. You're in a very large, very drab room. In the center of the room is a long counter that runs the length of the room. As is typical of such facilities, there is a customer at almost every window, and practically no employees to be seen behind the counter. In fact, the only employee in sight is standing at a window with no customers, looking bored. The exit is to the west. A DMV official is here. You walk over to the window where the employee is standing. The DMV employee says, "Let's see your appointment card. Service is by appointment only." Okay, so it looks like we need to get a DMV appointment card. Okay. Let's look at these customers. They all look like they've been standing there for a long time. Well, we have been blocked both ways. Let's go north. You're in the center of Hell's business district. To the north is an extremely tall tower, which reaches up into the sky. The top is lost in the mist high above. An archway leads south. You can go down the street to the east and to the west. Let's go west. Suburbs. You're on a quiet, pleasant suburban street to the west of the city. Somehow, you always knew that there would be suburbs in Hell. The street is lined with the type of tract housing they built copiously in California in the 1950s. One-story buildings with flat roofs, horizontal lines, lots of windows, and poor construction quality. A drab, faded blue-green house lies to the south, and a mini-mall lies to the north. The street leads east back into the city. To the west, the street fades to a gravel path. Let's go in the house. You're in the poorly tended, mostly dead yard of a house that lies to the south. Now that you're closer to the house, you can see just how poorly built the house really is. The primary building material seems to be cardboard stapled onto a rotting wooden frame. The cardboard is ill-fitting and poorly aligned, leaving large gaps here and there. You can enter the house to the south, and you can leave the yard to the north. So let's go into the house. As you start to open the door, you suddenly realize that it was locked. However, the construction quality of the house is so poor that the door pops open anyway. You're in an old, dilapidated kitchen. The appliances are all ancient and appear to be in poor condition. The linoleum floor has large gashes here and there where the plastic is curled back. There's a sink with a small cabinet underneath. An exit leads north out into the yard, and passages lead west and south. You see a paper recycling bin here. X bin is a blue plastic bin labeled paper with the familiar recycling symbol underneath. There's nothing in the paper recycling bin. Can we just pick up the bin? Hey, we can. Totally normal behavior. Open cabinet. Opening the cabinet reveals a pair of rubber gloves. Get gloves. Wear gloves. Okay, you're now wearing the pair of rubber gloves. Again, totally normal behavior. What do the gloves look like? An ordinary pair of rubber gloves. At least it's said with a little bit of panache. Alright. Well, you missed our trip to the DMV likes the bacon. West end of hall. You're in a short hallway connecting the bedrooms to the living room and kitchen area. The kitchen lies to the north, the living room is to the west, and the hall continues to the east. Alright. You're in the living room, which is long and narrow with a brick fireplace on the south wall. Next to the fireplace is a tool holder. A 6-foot partition to the north separates the living room and kitchen. The northwest corner of the room serves as the dining room. A hallway leads east. Okay. X tool holder. It's a black metal caddy for holding fireplace tools. It has space for 3 specific tools. In the fireplace tool holder, you see a poker, a brush, and a shovel. Get poker, get brush, get shovel. Continuing the totally normal behavior. It's a black wrought iron fireplace poker. It's about 1/2 inch in diameter and a couple of feet long. Oops. The brush is a black brush with a 2-foot metal handle useful for sweeping ashes out of a fireplace. And the shovel is a small black shovel with a 2-foot metal handle useful for collecting ashes out of a fireplace. There's nothing in the fireplace. Okay. Thought maybe we'd have to clean the fireplace for some reason. That was maybe just childhood memories of cleaning fireplaces. 6-foot partition to the north separates the living room and the kitchen. Got it. We already did that. Northwest corner of the room. What if we just go northwest? Yeah. You're in the dining room, which isn't really a separate room, but just the northwest corner of the living room. A table dominates the area. A 6-foot partition separates the dining room and living room from the kitchen, which is to the east. Evidently, building a wall all the way up to the ceiling would have been too expensive. The living room lies to the south. Sitting on the table is some junk mail. Well, let's read their junk mail. It's one of those obvious pieces of junk mail that has been made up to look like something important, with phrases such as extremely urgent and dated material and super expressgram stamped on the outside, but addressed to resident deceased. The letter reads, "Hello, decedent. Are you tired of the banality of everyday death and hell? Have you been to heaven but couldn't stand the boring cultural activities? Do you long for the danger and excitement that you had when you were alive? Then join the Hades Explorers Society. In the HES, we go to the parts of the underworld that ordinary people have never heard of, and we perform amazing feats that others wouldn't dream of. And then we get together in our luxurious clubhouse and exchange stories over fine imported cognac and brandy. Because of your excellent credit history, you're pre-approved for membership in the HES. All you need to do is bring the enclosed certificate of invitation to our headquarters. As far as we're concerned, you're as good as joined. However, there's one catch. The way to our headquarters is guarded by an evil troll. The troll will let no one pass except for card-carrying members of the HES or those who the troll believes are worthy of membership. The troll, unfortunately, does not read, so the enclosed certificate will not help you. Instead, you must prove yourself an accomplished adventurer by bringing the troll a great treasure. For this, we can offer you no guidance, but if you truly are an adventurer, you will be up to the quest. Good luck! We look forward to welcoming you." A piece of paper that was attached to the letter falls out onto the table. You can see that it's the certificate of invitation. Get that certificate. Read, certificate. It's an elaborate certificate, personalized in frilly script letters for bearer, certifying that the named individual has been pre-approved for membership in the Hades Explorers Society, and all of the privileges and responsibilities pertaining thereunto. You know, and I thought this would just be scene setting. So it looks like we need to get a DMV appointment card. We need to get some kind of treasure for the troll. I just kind of want to take that with me. Yeah. I wonder if this is just going to be like an infinite inventory situation, or if they're going to eventually say, hey, you're carrying too much junk. Why are you carrying a fireplace poker? Okay. Southeast? East? Let's keep going east. We're at the east end of the hall. How interesting. Bedrooms are to the east and the south, and the bathroom is to the north. The hall continues to the west. Master bedroom. You're in a large bedroom that's set up as an office. In the center of the room is a large desk on which a personal computer and a big pile of paper. The hallway lies to the west. Sitting on the desk is a pencil sharpener, a bag of cheese doodles, and an empty can of Toxicola. A programmer is sitting in front of the computer, looking at a screen full of C code. The programmer looks pensively at the screen. No. Looking at the programmer, you can tell just looking at him that he does nothing but program all day. He looks pale, even for a dead guy, and he's dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, the canonical uniform of the software developer. Clipped to one of his pockets is a small plastic card. The programmer makes a few notes on some scratch paper. Can't get a very good look at the card, not without being impolite at least. You can see Inferno Lab spelled out in large letters. Ask programmer about Inferno Lab. I used to work there, but I quit. They never seem to get anything done around there. The dimensional networking guys in particular are total losers. Get them anywhere near alcohol and they'll be gone for the day. Give programmers alcohol. Excellent. Cool. Ask programmer about house? I'd love to chat, but I'm busy. About program? Oh, the programmer is no longer here. The programmer looks pensively at the screen. Okay, we got what we needed to out of the programmer. Great. Well, I want the cheese doodles. Also, I genuinely like cheese doodles. You know what? Let's get the can. I'm sure it'll be useless. And let's get the pencil sharpener. Let's look at the can first. It looks like an ordinary empty can of Toxicola to me. Great. There's nothing in the bag of cheese doodles. It's an empty bag of cheese doodles. Great. I mean, it's puffy. Absolutely. I'm a terrible, terrible 90s kid, and just, extreme crispy Cheetos does not do it for me. The sharpener is an electric pencil sharpener. It has a pencil-sized hole on one end. There's also a small compartment, which is closed. Open compartment. Opening the sharpener compartment reveals an Inferno Vac battery. All right, let's get that and let's look at it. It's an Inferno Vac type HH battery. Interesting. No, I totally understand. I can't type on mobile at all, so serious props. Okay. Let's see what the paper is. X pile of paper. There's pieces of scratch paper spread out all over the desk, except for the half of the desk occupied by the computer. Some of the pieces have a bunch of hex numbers with little arrows next to them. Others have strange maps consisting of little squares, each with a label, such as Hall East, connected by lines. And others have lists with about half the items crossed off and the other half squeezed into the last inch at the top of the page. Okay, get pile of paper. You don't need those. No, but like I could use those, and then I wouldn't. Okay. The computer is a personal computer with traditional accoutrement: mouse, keyboard, monitor, system CPU unit. The screen is displaying a bunch of C code. Read screen. I don't know how to read the computer. X screen. Okay. Well, that was extremely cute. Kiss programmer. Oh, come on. Don't know the word kiss. I am me. Right, all I want to do is just kiss the programmer. I'm pretty sure that this programmer is the Stan Lee cameo of the game. All right. Takes you 45 minutes. There's no understanding that that's how you win the game, and then you start kissing people and all the numbers start going up. Yes. All right. Well, the master bedroom is potentially sad, potentially not. What about the small bedroom? You're in a small bedroom. The room is almost entirely filled by the bed. The hall is to the north. Sitting on the bed is a pillow and a bedspread. Okay, no more information. Maybe eventually I'll learn not to examine everything. Alright, what about this pillow? It's an ordinary pillow. I want a pillow. Give me the pillow. Great, got the pillow. X bedspread. Please do not be weird or gross. Cool, it's an ordinary bedspread. So our inventory is a bizarre collection of things, ranging from a pair of rubber gloves to a battery to a bedspread and a trash can. Well, okay, a recycling bin. Yeah, there is nothing else to do. I'm really concerned that all of these things are actually going to be useful. On the other hand, I think it would be funny if none of them are useful, and it's just like, why are you carrying all this? Just why? Why do you have a battery? Why did you take the battery out? All right, saving the best for last. You're in a small bathroom. In the center of the room is a sink, and over the sink is a medicine cabinet, which is closed. The exit is to the south. There is no toilet. You're giving me a bathroom, and I cannot do the one thing that you must be able to do in every video game with a bathroom? No, I'm sorry. Flush. Toilet. I don't know the word flush, you monster. Michael J. Roberts. Okay, turn on faucet. There's probably a water shortage in hell. You shouldn't run up someone else's water bill. I think they explicitly said that you do not go to the bathroom. I have not done this in a while. Save. I've not done this at all. All right. Open medicine cabinet. You try to open it, but it's stuck. Pry cabinet with poker. The poker is too blunt, and you probably couldn't get any leverage with it anyway. All right, what in this list of things can we use to pry? Yeah, it is. I don't save the music to the VODs, but yeah, it's a bunch of different video games. Faster Than Light. I just added Hollow Knight and Hypnospace Outlaw to it as well. But yeah, it gives it a good vibe. Maybe the shovel? Because the shovel has... Nope. Let's start with the brush. Okay, you don't know how to pry anything with a brush. Or the shovel. Poker is too blunt. That's such a specific instruction. All right. Maybe we'll have to come back to it. Pry. West end of hall, north back to the kitchen, west to the dining room. Oh. North of house. You can't go that way. What? Wasn't there... Oh. Wasn't there like a yard somewhere? Oh, okay. No, it was north of house. Excellent. Oh, cool. We're back to the suburbs. So we can go north to a mini mall or west to a gravel path. Let's go north to the mini mall. It's the parking lot of a suburban mini mall. The street is to the south. To the east is a store labeled Just Mirrors. And to the west is the Amulet shop. Well, Just Mirrors. You're inside Just Mirrors, which seems to sell just mirrors. Lots of mirrors are available for sale. The shopkeeper seems to be a sullen teen sitting behind the counter trying hard to ignore you. The exit is to the west. The teenager taps his fingers nervously on the counter and tries to avoid eye contact with you. He's wearing a t-shirt covered with satanic symbols promoting some heavy metal band. For some reason it seems out of place in hell. He smells overpowering of cigarette smoke, though no cigarettes are in evidence. He taps his fingers nervously on the counter. Ask teen about shirt. He ignores you. Ask teen about mirrors. He ignores you. Ask teen about cigarettes. I don't know the word cigarettes. Do know the word cigarette singly. Okay, a little too true to life. Bum cigarette from teen. Okay, fine. Fine. Ignite. All right, let's look at the mirrors. There are mirrors of all sizes, large and small. Each is labeled with a price tag. You see small mirrors for 25 helmids, medium-sized mirrors for 50 helmids, and larger mirrors from anything from 75 to several hundred helmids. Unfortunately, they're all too expensive for you. Look in mirror. You see a multitude of goofy faces looking back at you. Well, okay. Guess to the amulet shop. You're in a small store that sells amulets of various kinds. Glass display cases contain the amulets, which look like assorted types of jewelry. A shopkeeper is here waiting to help you. The shopkeeper greets you as you walk in. How may I help you? He asks cheerfully. Ask shopkeeper about amulets. I have a very nice selection of authentic reproductions of actual amulets. Of course, these amulets don't have the magical protective power of the real amulets, but they make very nice jewelry. Alright, let's look at these amulets. The display cases contain a number of different amulets. Most look like they're to be worn around the neck. One is a big gold disc with complex etchings. A second one is a clear, light blue jewel stone. A third is an ivory carving of a boat. Some look like other types of jewelry. One is a simple silver ring, and another is a bracelet. Keeper about disc. This is a replica of an amulet that is said to provide protection against great heat. I think the story is that it resembles the sun, which is the source of all heat. This one's been sold. About the stone, this is a very nice jewel, don't you think? The amulet that it's based upon supposedly provides protection against extreme cold. The jewel looks a little like a block of ice, you see. This one's been sold. Boat? The boat is real ivory, which is very hard to find these days. The original amulet was said to provide protection against sickness. I think the idea that you might become ill in a rowboat. This one's been sold. Is there anyone that hasn't been sold? The ring, this was supposed to provide protection against blinding light. I'm not sure why it's a ring. This one's been sold. Okay. So they've all been sold. The original amulet upon which this is based is said to provide protection against deafening sound. So I'm positive that those are all references to like MacGuffins in different games that I have just not played. Um, this is like right around the time where, oh my gosh, this game is not Nethergate Resurrection at all. Whoops. Knew I missed something. Yeah, I mean, this is around that time period when like things were getting very self-referential. I think from this time there's a game that I would love to play, but I need to play about 10 other games in order to really understand what this game is. And it's called Coke Is It, and it is, I'm relatively sure, a fake advert game for Coke that parodies 6 or 7 different like classic text adventures. It's interesting. All right, this shopkeeper was super helpful, but I don't think I have anything for him. All right. Well, let's go to the gravel path. You're on a gravel path that leads east and west. The terrain is growing quite dry and rocky to the west. The air is too dusty to see very far west. A small wooden sign is posted here. It's so yeah. So the reason why I started streaming text adventures was because I thought it was maybe the funniest thing that I could stream. Everybody else was like streaming AAA games and things like that, and I was like, well, my computer at the time was a complete potato, and so the only thing that I could stream was text adventures. And one of my friends, my usual co-host, has been playing text adventures consistently since she was a kid. And has kept up with all the competitions and kept up with the community and things like that. And a year or two ago, she sent me a game that we played maybe a month or two ago again, The Weight of a Soul, which I would 100% recommend. Because it gets rid of a lot of the kind of things that we're dealing with right now, where like, you know, maybe the parser is not super great, or like, you know, you really want to know more about this one specific item. Yeah, it's like a 6 megabyte text adventure, which means that that's like 90% text. So there's a ton in there. And so I played through that and was like, wow, yeah, these are cool. Hey, could you find this one that I remember from a kid? And in like 20 minutes, she figured out what game it was. It was Babel. And she was like, wow, that game was award-winning. Weird, let me play it. So that was the first game that we played. And then she's much more interested in modern stuff, which is really cool, because they're actually enjoyable games or enjoyable stories, and sometimes both. And I'm really interested in going back in time and like figuring out how we got to these things in a way that isn't like necessarily as like, ha ha ha, the parser is so bad. It's like, no, okay, yeah, the parser doesn't work well. That's fine. What about the story? So I'm really, really interested in that, and like finding things like Plundered Hearts, which is like a modern interactive fiction game, but it's 1987. Or finding like there was a competitor company, and the name escapes me right now, to Infocom, that was like obsessed with making text adventures like narrative. So when you read the when you looked at the information booklet, you literally got like a 60-page novella surrounding this game. It really, really interesting to me, like why this went the direction that it did. But this is from 1993, which is, I am like 90% sure Infocom is extremely dead at this point. Text adventures are very, very, very dead. So now it's like almost flash games, kind of like enthusiasts and people who just are like, I just want to play a new flash game or a new text adventure. So yeah, so that's why text adventures. At the time, my computer was bad. Now it's not, and it's a lot better even. So let's read this sign. Yeah. There's actually a ton of new text adventures every year. Like I said, The Weight of a Soul was finished in 2021. One of the best ones that I played, Fairest, is like from 2019. But there's competitions every year. So there's at least like 5 or 6 really good parser games every single year. And then a ton of like Twine games and things like that. And I really want to do more Twine. And then there's also Choice Script, which is like a lot of those things are on Steam. They're like a couple bucks. And they're like choice of something. And I think I'm going to wait until JRAM is back because she understands those games better as games. But I want to do more of those. Oh, on Humbug. I don't know that one. Like, what's cool to me is that, like, this is a very American perspective. And there was a whole other side of British-based writers. I played one of them, and it was like a very different way of approaching text adventures. Oh, yeah. Very, very interesting. I will check that out. Yeah, it's just a DOS application. Oh, cool. And it's ported to something more recent. Rad. That's really, really funny. What else did he write? He wrote a game before that as well. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, some of this too is like very, like, I have very vivid memories of playing the text adventure I asked JRAM to find. Like sitting at the computer being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. So, like, I had never actually finished this game, and it only takes, like, a couple hours to get through. Like, even when you're just blundering through it, not knowing what to do. So that's, like, a huge thing about modern games. And I'm interested in this because I think this is at the beginning of that time where they were, like, making games smaller. So I'm wondering, like, how small is small. But this sign reads, Hell Nature Preserve. You are now entering the Hell Nature Preserve. This area has been set aside to preserve a small part of Hell in its original state, as it was before urbanization transformed Hell into what we know today. Please don't litter. Keep Hell beautiful. After reading the sign, you notice that someone has flagrantly violated the plea not to litter. Someone has carelessly tossed a cigarette box on the ground here. Get box. Open box. I don't know how to open the cigarette box. Buddy. You take the cellophane off. Anyway. In the cigarette box, you see a cigarette. Well, I know a way to become friends with the mirror guy. Let's go. Let's continue west. Yeah, let's continue west. You're on the east edge of a desolate plain. The ground is hard-packed sand covered with small, sharp rocks. The plain extends to the west as far as the eye can see. You notice that you can see for a very long distance. The ground does not seem to have any curvature at all, and there is no distinct horizon. Only sheer distance seems to obscure your view of what may be an infinite plain. You can see a red glow to the north. So I'm making a map. You can see a red glow to the north, and the city lies back to the east. The plain stretches off without any distinguishing features in all other directions. Let's go west. You walk for what seems like a very long time, but every time you look back, you realize that you are no further from the city. Well, that's good. Let's go north then. You are in a vast, desolate plain. The ground is hot here. Steam rises from cracks in the dry soil, and the warm, damp air smells strongly of sulfur. The area is littered with debris, decaying bones of strange animals, broken parts from ancient machinery, pools of tar and oil. The plain continues off in all directions. It was somewhat more pleasant to the south. A bright red glow comes from the north. Let's look at them bones. The bones are of no animals you've ever seen. Some of them look almost human, but not quite. As you look more closely, you notice a human-looking skeleton underneath some of the strange animal bones. Ex-human skeleton. You can't see much. It's mostly covered by the strange animal bones. Get animal bones? As your hand approaches the pile of bones, bright blue electric arcs jump towards you, but the rubber gloves provide some protection. As you start to move the pile, it collapses, and sparks fly throughout the pile. You jump back from the fireworks. Once the smoke is cleared, you see that the human skeleton has been uncovered. The skeleton has been stripped of flesh. Only the bright white bones remain. You notice that the skeleton's bony hand is clutching a small card. Get card. Taken. Score just went up. Read card. I don't know how to read the appointment card. I guess let's just look at it. It's an appointment card for a driver's license test. It doesn't seem to specify a time or date. It's probably good at any time. Making progress. go north. You're standing at the top of an enormous crater, which is at least several hundred feet in diameter and almost as deep. Strangely, the ground around the crater is not lifted as you would expect of an impact crater. It is more like the result of excavation. The sides of the crater are very steep, but it looks as though you could climb down with some effort. The depths of the crater are obscured by a dense fog, but a wavering red glow penetrates the fog from below. Overpowering sulfurous fumes fill the air, and waves of heat and steam rise from below. Before we do that, I forgot something. Let's look at the machinery. Most of the machinery parts are gigantic, some standing several feet high. The parts are all made of dark, rough metals that look like wrought iron. They have myriad sharp protrusions and appendages. You can't imagine what these parts are or what machines they came from. Get machinery? The machine part isn't important. It just looks cool. There's nothing special about the tar or the oil. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Let's save. Before we do anything silly. You're at the bottom of the crater. We went down. The floor of the crater is littered with huge, sharp rocks, making travel very difficult, and the ground is so hot that it glows red. It looks like you could climb back up to the crater wall. To the northeast is a huge stone slab. One of the large rocks on the pit floor suddenly bursts into flames. You jump back and shield your eyes from the blinding fire. After a few moments, the fire subsides, and all that's left of the rock is a thick black cloud of sulfurous fumes that slowly dissipates. The slab is about 10 feet tall and 5 feet wide. In the center of the slab, you notice that there are 3 small holes, arranged in a horizontal line 6 inches apart. This hole was made for me. There are 3 holes, each about half an inch in diameter, arranged in a horizontal line spaced about 6 inches apart. Can't tell how deep the holes are. You hear a rumbling sound under your feet. The rumbling increases in intensity until the sound is deafening, and the ground is shaking violently. As you try to maintain your balance, several rocks are suddenly blown upward, and a huge steam geyser blasts through the surface. You jump backwards away from the jet of pressurized steam. Eventually, the geyser weakens and finally stops. And then you hear a noise overhead and look up to see a number of rocks come sliding down the side of the crater. You jump out of the way just in time. Where's this? Yeah, to the northeast. Can we just walk northeast? You'll have to move the huge stone slab out of the way first. A stream of molten lava abruptly starts pouring out of the side of the crater. The glowing stream of liquid rock slowly cools into yet more hot rocks at the floor of the crater. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay. A thick cloud of dust drifts down from the side of the crater. You watch the cloud as it slowly meanders through the complex air currents driven by the hot crater floor. As the cloud approaches the hot rocks at the bottom of the crater, it suddenly catches fire. You leap back as the cloud almost instantly vanishes in a searing wall of flame. Alright, this seems like a safe place. Let's get out of here. Top of crater, wastelands. Desolate plain. Back to the city. Back to the mini mall. Back to just mirrors. Give box to teen. He snatches the cigarette and sticks it in its mouth. He fumbles in his pockets for a lighter, finds one and lights the cigarette. Thanks, man, he says, not really looking at you. He drops the lighter on the counter and puffs on the cigarette contentedly. Get lighter. Taken, your score just went up. Light teenager on with lighter. I don't know how to light the sullen teen. Yeah, more progress. All about it. Okay. Well, we got a lighter out of that. What kind of lighter is it? It's a small plastic pocket lighter. Okay. Oh, you know what else we got? We got a DMV appointment. Give card to employee. Well, it's about time. She carelessly tosses your appointment card onto the counter and hands you a test. Fill this out and don't cheat. Bring it back to me when you've finished with it. I have a feeling we need a pencil. DMV written test. This test consists of 10 multiple choice questions. Please consider each question carefully and choose the letter of the answer that best completes the sentence or answers the question. The minimum passing score is 70, 7 out of 10 correct. Warning: you are required to answer the questions on this test without any help. Anyone willfully giving answers to another person or accepting answers from another person is guilty of an immoral act. But you're already in hell, so who cares? Applicant must provide own number 2 pencil. Unfortunately, you don't seem to have a number 2 pencil, so you can't fill out the test. Okay. No, I have not finished the test yet. Get out of here. All right. We have not gone east. So let's do that. You're on a street in downtown hell. To the south is the entrance to a large low-rise building labeled Inferno Lab. And to the north is the fortress-like Bank of Hell. The street continues east and west. A narrow alley leads alongside the Inferno Lab building to the southwest. Okay. Let's do a little exploring and just see what else is out there. You're in a sparsely populated rural area east of town. The road leads west into the city but ends here. To the east is an open field. You can also go south where the terrain becomes rocky and hilly. A small farmhouse lies to the north. Alright, what's on this open field? There's a rabbit. You're in a large open field. The ground is peppered with clumps of scrubby grass. A road lies to the west. You can see a tall mountain range in the distance to the southeast. There's a large jackrabbit hopping around, foraging for food. Next rabbit. It's a large jackrabbit. It's hopping around happily, foraging for food. I don't have any food, do I? No. I have an empty bag of cheese doodles and an empty can of Toxicola. Okay. Well. Actually, can we be simple and just get the rabbit? No, the rabbit is too quick. It hops several feet away each time you get near it. So we have got to make some kind of trap for the rabbit. I have a pillowcase that probably gets us pretty far. All right, let's see what's in the farmhouse. You're in a small, deserted, one-room farmhouse. The building is very old and rickety, and all the paint is since peeled off the walls. You can go through doors to the south and to the east. You see a portable radio here. It's a Hades Corp Wavemaster 2000 portable transistor radio. It has a dial that lets you set the frequency, and a switch for turning the radio on and off. On the back is a small compartment. Get radio. Open compartment. Opening the radio compartment reveals a Duracell battery. X battery. X Duracell battery. It's type HH. Okay. Close compartment. Turn on radio. Radio is now turned on. The radio plays annoying heavy metal music. Let's look at this radio again. Turn dial to 318. Okay, it's now turned to 318. The radio emits static. Let's try the right number. A man on the radio says, "Many drivers find it very confusing that every type of zone has its own speed limit. No two zones have the same speed limit. In addition, there are too many types of zones. We have school zones, hospital zones, library zones, residential zones, and freeway zones. This is more than we need." Okay. A woman on the radio says, "I believe that both hospital zones and 43 mile per hour zones need to be reconsidered." Oops. Sorry. Man on the radio says, "Possibly, but I think it's much more pressing problem that the color of speed limit signs in school zones is blue." Do the thing that you should always do. Turn off the talk radio. But that is very funny that is there. I do wish that it gave me a point for that. Because that was a throwaway line. Alright, let's go east. It's a barnyard. You're in a large yard outside an old abandoned barn. The area is overgrown with weeds. It obviously hasn't been used in many years. A rusty old well head sticks out of the weeds. A large metal bucket is hanging from the well. The farmhouse is to the west, and the entrance to the barn is to the north. Well, the wellhead is a hand-pumped well. It has a long lever and a spout. There's a bucket hanging from the wall. The pump looks very old and corroded. Pump well? You work the lever to no avail. The well is long since dry. Well, get bucket. And then lever? Looks like an ordinary lever to me. X spout? Turn spout? Turning the spout doesn't have any effect. What am I supposed to get here? Lift lever? Push lever. Do I have anything I can hit it with? I don't. Hit lever with poker. Attacking the lever doesn't seem productive. Well, bro, I'm a little frustrated. All right, I just want this lever broken so that I can use it to do other things with the lever. Can I just get it? You can't have the lever. Well, fine. I got a bucket. All right. Well, let's go to the bank. You're in the cavernous interior of the main office of the Bank of Hell. The style is very 19th century. The building itself is made of granite blocks. Huge oak desks with dark green and burgundy leather armchairs are arranged in neat rows behind the counter that runs the width of the room. And dozens of tellers dressed in dark pinstripe vests and bow ties stand behind the counter, each at a window with a stack of papers and a green banker's light, waiting on a customer. The exit is to the south. One of the tellers waves you over to his window. "Can I help you?" he asks. Teller looks at you expectantly. Ask teller for money. I don't see any money here. What are they called? Ask teller. Maybe if we looked at the teller. He looks to be in his early 30s. Like all the other tellers, he's dressed in a pinstripe vest, white shirt, and bow tie. Ask teller for pencil? Seems more interested in discussing official bank business. For withdrawal. Withdrawal? Withdrawal. Withdrawal? Okay. Papers aren't important. Okay, we'll come back to that. What's in this alleyway? You're in an alley between two large low-rise buildings, one to the east and one to the west. The alley dead ends to the south. You can go out to the north. At the south end of the alley is a large dumpster. Well, let's look at the dumpster. Right where I belong. It's a really large, very smelly dumpster. Over the edge of the dumpster, you can see a pair of flippers sticking up. Unfortunately, you can't quite reach them from here. Get flippers with poker? I don't know how to take anything with the poker. Okay. Get flippers with brush. With shovel. Open. Dumpster. Dumpster is already opened. Alright, what can I get? Tie rope to bucket. Okay. Wait. Get flippers with rope. It's already tied in a circle. All you can manage to do is push them away from you. You'll have to get into the dumpster somehow. We'll climb dumpster. It's too high to climb into. Okay. Wheel. That's its own problem. Let's go to the Inferno Lab. You're in a lobby decorated with very high-tech look. The walls are brushed stainless steel. The illumination is provided by black track lighting suspended from an intricate network of black metal railing. The furniture is black and angular. Along the far wall, spelled out in 4-foot-high Helvetica medium extended letters, carved from granite, is the word Inferno Lab. In the center of the lobby is a huge black leather couch and a low black marble coffee table. A hallway leads east and an exit leads back north, back out to the street. A pair of maintenance workers in white overalls walks in from the east. One is carrying a toolbox and the other is carrying a light bulb and a sheet of paper. "Let's see," says the one carrying a sheet of paper, carefully reading it. "Trouble ticket says that the bulb number 47 is blown again." Looks up at the track lighting. "Damn, we forgot the ladder." "No need," says the other. He sets his toolbox on the coffee table and climbs up onto the table. "I can reach number 47 from here," he says. He reaches up and unscrews one of the bulbs and lays it on top of the railing. "Hand me that new bulb," he says. The other worker hands him the bulb and he screws it into the socket. As he's screwing it in, a huge flash of light suddenly erupts from the socket, followed by a shower of glass. The flash of light is quickly replaced by a cloud of smoke, and flames engulf the worker. He jumps off the table, his clothes in flames, screaming and flailing his arms, and runs out into the street. The other worker shrugs and disappears down the hall. Sitting on the marble coffee table is a toolbox. Sitting on the black metal railing is a dead light bulb. More normal human behavior. Get bulb. Oh, it's up on the railing. Okay. Well, get toolbox. X toolbox. It's a gray metal toolbox. Open toolbox. It's locked. Get on table. You climb up onto the coffee table. It makes a pretty good platform. You can reach the railing from here. Get bulb. Taken. X bulb. It's a dead light bulb. It seems slightly charred inside. Get down. Climb off the table. Sit on couch. Okay, you're just sitting on the couch. Fine. Okay. The railing is a very intricate network of black metal rails hanging about 4 feet below the ceiling. Yeah, let's go east. Why not? You're in a hallway that leads east and west. All along the south wall are closely spaced doors. All the doors are closed except for one. The hall continues to the east. You're now at the east end of a long hallway. To the east is a closed door. Next to the door is a slot. A small red light is above the slot. The hall continues back to the west. So going back to the main hallway, going south, You're in a small cubicle, bordered on the east and west by 6-foot-high partitions, and on the south by a desk. There's a chair that occupies most of the rest of the space. A door is to the north, the door is open. On the other side of the desk is a very large, bright white room. Several men and women are walking about the room, consulting with each other. Each is wearing a long white lab coat and carrying a black metal clipboard stuffed with papers. As you enter, one of the women in lab coats walks over to you. "Ah, you must be Subject 32, she says with a bit of impatience in her voice. "Everyone else is ready to begin. Now, if you'd take your seat, we can proceed with the experiment." She walks back towards the center of the room and confers with another of the scientists. "Well, sit." "Okay, you're now sitting on the chair." As you sit down, the door behind you slides closed. One of the scientists walks over to the others and asks him, "Are you ready to begin, Dr. Merkwerderblock?" Merkwerderblock turns to face her. "A moment, please." He stands facing from the cubicles and runs his hands through his hair, inhaling deeply. He then abruptly turns his head to face the cubicles. He has short, curly black hair and is wearing very thick, dark glasses, a white lab coat, and black leather gloves. "Thank you all for coming. I'm Dr. Merkwerderblock, and I'll be your scientist today. The experiment we're performing is in a field called microeconomics, which means that we're going to attempt to model a particular set of market forces under controlled conditions. As a result, you may find the experiment to be quite abstract, but don't worry. We don't actually want you to understand the point of this experiment for 2 reasons. First, if you knew what we were attempting to prove, it might bias the results. And second, our theories might seem strange, or even laughable, to the layman, and you might be left with the impression that economics is something less, much less, than the precise and exacting science that we economists know it to be. But you will be able to rest assured, in your confusion, that the economic future of hell is in capable hands. You can tell by our white lab coats, clipboards, and seemingly effortless use of large words that we are authority figures to be respected, yes, and feared. Now, the rules of the experiment are quite simple. Each of you is a trader in a good we'll call widgets. The experiment will consist of a series of trading rounds. In each trading round, you will conduct a transaction with the subject to your left and the one to your right. We will be using what we economists refer to as the Extended RSP Trading Model, which stands for rock, scissors, paper. We call it extended because we have added a new element that radically changes the equation: dynamite. In this model, dynamite pulverizes rock. Rock crushes scissors. Scissors cut paper. Yes, 2 shreds. But paper covers dynamite. You start with 5 widgets. In each trading round, you will choose dynamite, rock, scissors, or paper, and your trading choice will be compared with the choices of those to your left and right. The subject who prevails out of each group of 3 will acquire 1 widget each from the subjects on the left and right. The experiment will proceed for 5 trading rounds. Oh my god. What is this? As an incentive to do your best, if you manage to win every round, you will be awarded 20 helmets at the end of the experiment. Choose carefully. You notice a control panel on the desk that you hadn't seen before. The control panel has a numeric display, which is currently displaying 5 and 4 buttons labeled dynamite, rock, scissors, and paper. Dr. Merkwerderblock writes some notes on his clipboard. Round 1, he announces. Please make your suggestions. Save. Okay. Round 1. So going all the way back up. See, I like rock, paper, scissors a lot. I really don't like when they start getting silly and are like, well, yeah, dynamite, and then the lizard beats the dynamite, but Spock beats the lizard. No, get out of here. Rock, paper, scissors is a perfect game. Okay. Dynamite. Choose dynamite. I don't know the word. Oh, okay. Press dynamite. You push the button, making your choice. One of the scientists walks over and looks at your choice, and the choice of the people on your left and right. Let's see. You chose dynamite, she says, looking at your button. Subject on your left chose paper, and the subject on the right chose rock. I'm afraid the paper wraps dynamite, so you've lost this round. You've lost one widget. Display now reads 4. Press scissors. Push the button, making your choice. Let's see. You chose scissors. The subject on your left chose paper, and the subject on your right chose rock. I'm afraid that rock crushes scissors, so you've lost this round. You've lost one widget. So, press rock? Are you really supposed to win this? Press scissors. Press paper. Press rock. Push the button. Making your choice. Let's see. You chose rock. Subject on your left chose dynamite, and the subject on the right chose scissors. I'm afraid that dynamite blows up rock, so you've lost this round. You'll lose one widget. Display now reads 0. Dr. Merg Wordblock announces loudly, "That concludes the experiment. Thank you all for participating. You provided a great deal of valuable data that will significantly advance this important field of science. Those of you with 15 widgets will be given your checks now." Cubicle's door slides open. One of the men in lab coats walks up to your desk and looks at your console's display. He bursts into laughter. "0? What a loser! Don't you realize that you do a lot better than this by pure random chance?" Calls over to a couple of the other scientists. "Hey, have a look at this. He got 0. I've never seen one of these before." Several scientists come over and gawk at your display and walk off laughing. Okay. Is there any way to win that? I'm gonna actually do something I never do and restore. What did I do to get this? Sit. Oh, okay. Yeah. So let's press rock. Let's press paper. Press paper button. Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to win this. Okay, well I feel better. Absolutely was just yeah, okay. So it just always beats you. Okay, that's interesting. Let's look at the scientists. It's the clipboard is just something the scientist is carrying. It's not important. All right, let's stand. Okay, you're no longer in the chair. Can't go south. Jump over desk. Let's just look at this desk. It's a large desk that fills the entire south half of the cubicle. Embedded in the surface of the desk is a small control panel. What happens if we press rock again? Nothing happens. Is that really just all flavor? I can't imagine that's all flavor. Okay, I guess let's go north. Okay. Wait a minute. Small red light is above the slot. Let's look at this slot. It's a little slot, about big enough for a credit card. There's a little red light above it. Oh, I wonder if we could get that card. Oh, that means I have to run all the way back. That's fine. West. No. Yeah. Suburbs, southeast, east. No. South. East. Get card. Ask programmer about card. Love the chat. Hit programmer with poker. Give programmer liquor. No thanks. Ask programmer for card. I don't think the programmer could give that to you. Well, I thought he could. So, there. A man whose clothes are on fire is running around in circles, flailing his arms and screaming. Isn't there a fountain? No. Oh, wait. We're on the pier. Fill bucket with water. I don't see any water here. That's a lie. So, okay. I've found a great many things. Found the open field. Let's go south. You're on a gently sloping rocky hillside at the base of a tall mountain. The granite surface of the hillside hosts no vegetation. Looming high above to the east is a steep cone of volcano. Clouds of dark smoke rise steadily above the cone. You can climb into the mountains to the east. You can also go north, back to the road. Well, let's go east. You're fairly high up the side of the mountain. You guess that you're around 2,000 feet up. Have you noticed that they've used the English system of measurements in hell? What else would you expect? You can go down the mountain to the west, and the volcano's cone looms above to the east. A small opening appears to lead into a cave to the south. You can also travel along a path to the north, and a narrow passage to the southeast. You have an excellent view of hell from here. The tall buildings downtown all seem tiny from this distance and altitude, except for the tower. Even from here, you can't see the top. The tower looks like a thin, gleaming string stretching from the ground up into the dark sky. As your eyes follow the tower up into the sky, you realize that you're high enough above the surface now that you can see stars above. So many stars, and all so bright that it's quite well lit here. Okay. Let's start north. Where's my extra map? Here we go. Really quickly doing some fun little mapping. You're on the shore of a beautiful clear blue mountain lake. The lake is huge. Looks like it's almost a mile across. The water is very still and clear. The lake is circled by high cliffs, except here, where you could easily wade into the water. A path leads south. Enter water? You're swimming on the lake. The shore is to the west. A rocky ledge to the north prevents travel in that direction, but you can go east or south. You didn't notice from the shore, but there seems to be a very strong undertow pulling you underwater. You try to fight the undertow, but it's just too strong. It drags you underwater. You're underwater in the lake. To the north is a rocky wall, but there's an opening that could be the mouth of a cave. The rocky wall of the shore is to the west, but you can go east and south. You are well below the surface, but the lake floor is still a ways below. Well, let's go to the lake floor. You're deep. You try to swim against the undertow, but the current drags you down. The undertow drags you down, away from the cave. You're deep underwater, just above the rocky bottom of the lake. The water is swirling violently around a depression in the rocky floor. You realize that it's a whirlpool. Let's keep going down. You can't swim against the whirlpool current. You're dragged helplessly towards the whirlpool. You try to swim against it, but it's too strong. You get nearer and nearer the hole. You start tumbling over and over in the turbulent waters. Your head hits a rock, then your arm, then a leg. You're barely able to see what's happening as you're battered against the rocks, but you realize that you're falling through a narrow tunnel. You're on your back, moving headfirst through the tunnel. You lose track of how much time you're bounced around inside the tunnel, but you eventually emerge into a raging river pouring down the hillside. You tumble and crash into even more rocks as you're washed down the rocky riverbed. You pass under a bridge, trying to grab onto something, but finding nothing to hold on to. The water continues to drag you downstream. You manage to get your head above water long enough to look at what's coming, and you see a dense tangle of tree branches up ahead. You brace yourself just in time and crash into the thicket. It's difficult, but you manage to untangle yourself from the tree branches and climb out onto the riverbank. You're on the west bank of a river. The river is blocked to the south by a dense tangle of tree branches. A path leads north. Well, I really don't know what happened. But we can go north from here. I think now is a capital time to take a union-mandated streamer break and look away from a screen for a moment, rest my voice, chill out, listen to some music. Thank you so much, everybody who's been coming out, likes the bacon, Emmy, Geneva, everybody saying hi. Thank you so much. It really makes it very fun to do this stuff. But yeah, I will be back in, nope, not starting soon. 10 minutes-ish. See you soon. All right. Got some water. Got kind of lost looking up more about Humbug. All right, let's figure out what's going on here. We're on a riverbank. A path leads north. Still on the west bank of a river. The water pours rapidly over huge rocks in the river. A bridge crosses the river to the east. A narrow path climbs steeply up the hill to the northwest, and you can follow the river to the south. I guess northwest. You're on a path that climbs up a sheer cliff face. The path goes down to the river to the southeast and climbs steeply to the southwest. I will. That is a really interesting time. And I found a way to play it on a modern system. So I'm interested. I'm very, very interested. They climbed steeply to the southwest. You're on a steeply climbing path near the top of a cliff. The path descends to the northeast and continues to the west. My mapping is so chaotic right now. You're in a narrow passage among the rocks. You can squeeze through to the east and to the northwest. You're fairly high up on the side of the mountain. You'd guess that you're around 2,000 feet up? Have you noticed that they use the English system of measurements in Hell? What else would you expect? You can go down the mountain to the west. The volcano's cone, oh hey, we're back, looms above to the east. A small opening appears to lead into a cave to the south. So that's the mountains. That's the mountains? You can also travel along the path to the north and a narrow passage to the southeast. Okay. So let's go back down. And then that leads back somewhere. Mountaintop. Let's go back. And let's go east across this bridge. You're at the center of a bridge that travels east and west across a raging rapids below. Oh, it's the troll! There's a large hairy troll standing in the center of the bridge, blocking your way. The troll watches you suspiciously. Let's look at this troll. It's a huge beast, standing 10 feet high, covered with bristly black hair and wielding a double-edged axe. Troll watches you suspiciously. Do we have anything that could be treasure? Give troll bulb. Troll takes one look at the dead light bulb and rejects your offer with a snarl, shoving it away with a backhanded slap. Okay. So that's where the troll is. Well, we need a treasure to do that. Alright, we're back to the mountainside. So going down the mountain to the west is the rocky hillside. Mountain. And then north is to the outskirts. Okay. So mountain. So yes. Okay. Mountain. Awesome. I don't think we need this part of the map. Okay. Let's go straight south. You're in a large cylindrical cave with smooth black walls. Running through the south end of the cave is a wide, swiftly flowing river of lava, which flows downhill to the east. The lava pours in through an orifice in the western wall. An exit leads back outside to the north. If you want to swim in the river, just say so. Yeah, you know what? I do want to swim in the river of lava. What will happen? I've been told you cannot die in this game. The searing heat of the lava shoots through your body, making you try desperately to escape the river. As you flail around, though, you start to realize the lava isn't harming you despite the immense pain. As you start to get used to the blistering heat, you notice that you're being swept rapidly downstream. The river of lava is flowing swiftly downhill to the east. The lava flow starts to carry you downhill, or downstream. The swift river of lava, the lava is carrying you along too swiftly. The swift river of lava sweeps you downstream to the east. The river of lava turns from east to south here. Well, let's keep following this. Why not? You can't seem to escape from the river. You're carried rapidly to the south by the flowing lava. The river of lava is flowing through the cave swiftly to the south. To the west is a shore that appears to open into a cave. The cave has many stalagmites sticking up from its floor. One particularly large stalagmite right on the shore, about 10 feet away from you, is at least 3 feet tall. There's a faint light downstream, and you hear a loud rushing noise from the south. Let's go west. The cave You try to make it up onto the shore, but the current is too strong for you. The lava sweeps you along to the south. The cave abruptly opens into the night sky, and you realize that you're at the top of a cliff. The lava is pouring over the edge of the cliff and falling hundreds of feet down the side of the mountain below. Well, down. The lava is moving too swiftly. Before you can do anything, the river carries you over the edge of the lava fall. You fall and fall, tumbling and flailing your arms and legs, catching a glimpse of the bottom of the lava fall, lost in the rocks far below. Suddenly, you hit something, and your fall stops abruptly. You're on a ledge just west of and halfway up a huge lava fall. The lava pours down with a deafening, rumbling sound. The narrow ledge seems to continue to the northwest. Well, let's go northwest. You're on a narrow ledge high up on the mountainside. The ledge continues to the southeast and northwest. And you walk carefully along the ledge, but suddenly you hit a loose spot. You try to maintain your footing, but the rock crumbles under you, and you go sliding down the mountainside. You finally stop falling. You find yourself on a rocky hillside you've seen before. Okay. Hillside. All right. What if we go east from the mountain? You're standing at the rim of the volcano. Below, tons of glowing red-hot magma, molten rock, churn and bubble. You can climb down the mountain to the west. Can we just go down? Or we're back to the mountainside. Okay. So we have gone everywhere we can here. That's the way to the troll. So we have found that. We have the rabbit. If we go continue east from the field, what happens? There's nothing in that direction except more of the same empty field. There's the large jackrabbit. Okay. So none of these places would get us a pencil. And we need to find programmers at Inferno Lab. All right, let's go back to Inferno Lab to see if we can't find some kind of thing. We have the hallway east, but what about up? Nope, can't go that way. All right, let's go east. Have to open the door first. Well, let's open door. You don't see how to do that. Well, no, I do. It's the slot. The small red light is glowing red. Interesting. Doot, doot, doot. All right, let's go back south. Well, okay, we're back south. And after that wonderful walk in the mountains, One of the scientists recognizes you and walks over. You're back for another try, are you? Well, we normally don't like to use the same subjects multiple times since it can throw off the results. But given your pathetic performance last time, I suppose that it can't do much harm. It's not like you have any sort of advantage over the other subjects. She lets out a little laugh. Actually, it's more like a snort. Then turns serious again. Anyway, we're about to begin another experiment, so if you'll have a seat, we will proceed. So we've got the same... Yeah, we've got the same thing. Press scissors. So I just picked scissors every time. And just randomly, we should have won at least once. So I'm starting to think that you can't win this. One of the men in lab coats walks up to your desk and looks at your console's display. 0 again, he says. I don't think you understand the experiment very well. Oh well, better luck next time. I'm tempted to look this up. So we have a map. Oh, there is a lot to that. Okay. Doot 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 doot. Okay. Well, I didn't find the things that I needed to per se. But by virtue of this walkthrough, I had the right idea on one thing. I just didn't go the right place. So I'm going to go do that. And maybe that'll open up some more options. So we go to lake. So we can go south, we go east, we go north. We fill bucket with water. And then we go back to downtown. I don't know where that guy went, though. He might have burned to death. That's fine. Oh, here we are. A man whose clothes are on fire is running around in circles, flailing his arms and screaming. Throw bucket at man. That doesn't seem to help this situation. Throw water at man. You pour the water onto the burning man, and the flames are immediately extinguished. He looks dazed for a moment, and then he sees that you're the kind person who did the good deed. Hey, he shouts at you. What did you do that for? Now I've got to go back to work. He fumbles through his pockets. As he does, you notice a small metal object drop to the ground. He eventually finds a matchbook in his pocket and strikes a match. He tries to get his clothes burning again, but they're too wet. "Oh, well, it's no use," he says and stomps away. "Our score just went up." "Oh, thank God." "See a small metal key here. Get key." "There's only one thing that's locked." "Open toolbox." "Unlock toolbox." "Open toolbox." Reveals a crowbar and a yellow note. Read note. It's a small piece of yellow paper with nothing written on it except a series of numbers. 15, 24, 5. Interesting. Well, get crowbar. And then, all right, we have the farmhouse. Pry lever with crowbar. I don't know how to pry the lever. Okay. The entrance to the barn is to the north. Oh. Well, I missed the fact that there's a barn. You're in an old rickety barn. The area smells of rotting wood and damp decay. The usual farm implements are scattered around the barn. A pitchfork stuck into a bale of hay, several stalls for horses. In the center of a barn is a small single-engine airplane. It's an open cockpit, high-wing tail dragger. It's painted a faded yellow. The exit is to the south. Well, okay, let's get the pitchfork. Taken. Now all you need is some horns and a pointy tail, and you'd own this place. Okay, X hay. The hay is very old and damp, and many insects have made it their home. Pitch hay with pitchfork? There is no verb in that sentence. There's pitch, but I hear you. Let's look at this airplane. It's a tail dragger with an open cockpit. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's any hope that it can be made to work. The engine looks dismantled and corroded. It looks like you could get in the plane if you wanted. Enter plane. You're in the cockpit of a very old airplane. From here, you can see just how hopeless it would be to try to get it flying. The control stick has been removed, leaving a gaping hole in the floor, and the airframe is quite rotted. Even the seat has been removed. At the rear of the cockpit area is a large compartment, which is closed. Open compartment. Open large compartment with crowbar. You jam the crowbar under the compartment door and start prying. After a few moments, you hear a loud snap and the door props open. Opening the storage compartment reveals a parachute. Get parachute. Take it. Interesting. The parachute is a bulky bag with straps for attaching it to your torso. It has a bright red ripcord. Wear parachute. Great. Now wearing it. Okay. Exit plane. Out. South. West. South. West, west. West. South. South, east, east. South, east, east. Open cabinet with crowbar. The jammed frame creaks and moans, but it's no match for the crowbar, and it quickly opens with a loud cracking sound. As it comes open, the mirror suddenly snaps out of the frame and crashes down onto the sink. Glass flies everywhere. The programmer walks in, evidently heard the commotion. Looks like you tried to open the medicine cabinet, he says. Should have warned you about that. It's yet another one of the high-quality accessories of the house. The mirror always pops out when the medicine cabinet is opened. He walks out and returns with a broom. I have to go get another mirror, he says as he sweeps up the glass. I'll just be a few minutes. There's a mirror store right across the street. Programmer travels out into the hall. X cabinet. Front of the cabinet is bare, unpainted metal. Has a frame where it used to hold a mirror. Medicine cabinet is open. There's nothing in it. Alright, but we're in the master bedroom. Okay. Let's look on the desk. Open drawer. Opening the drawer reveals a pencil. Get pencil. Take test. No, okay. X test. Put battery in sharpener. Close sharpener compartment. Sharpen pencil. Pencil sharpener doesn't do anything. You withdraw the pencil from the hole and find it exactly as sharp as when you inserted it. Okay. Open sharpener compartment. Get battery. Open radio compartment. Get battery. Get Durahell battery. Put Durahell battery in sharpener compartment. The programmer walks into the room. He sits down and goes back to work. He notices the desk drawer is open. You haven't been looking through my things, have you? He asks accusingly as he closes the drawer. Let's sharpen this pencil. Pencil sharpener whirs for several seconds as you feed the pencil in. You take the pencil out and find it sharpened and ready for writing. Let's look at this test. Applicant must provide own number 2 pencil. Last name. Ferkung. First name. Ferkung. Middle name. Ferkung. Age. Old. What is the speed limit in a school zone? What? Do I actually have to take this test? What? What? I don't know, 43. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to listen to the radio to get these actual speed limits? Oh, boy. All right. Given a regular pyramid with a square base, there is a sphere whose center is in the plane of the base of the pyramid, which is tangent to all edges of the pyramid. If the edge of the pyramid base is length A, what is the height of the pyramid? I don't know. B? Given the pyramid and sphere from the previous question, what is the volume of the portion common to the sphere and the pyramid? B? Okay. I'll be honest, though. This is a very funny puzzle. All right. Take battery out of sharpener. Put Durahell battery in radio. Turn on radio. So, okay. We're just going to have to sit in this room for a little bit and just write this down. So, green is 59 miles per hour. School zones in 27 mile per hour zones have large. Library zones and 43 mile per hour zones have medium. Now I've forgotten. Is the speed limit in a residential zone 17 or 23 miles per hour? I can't remember, but I know either school zones or hospital zones are 23 miles an hour. Oh my gosh. No. Have I really lost the ability to do this? The announcer comes back on the radio. That's all the time we have for today's edition of Vehicle Code Forum. Next on, live coverage of the swearing-in ceremony for new civil servants in the Ministry of Information. Man on the radio says, "Do you swear to uphold the procedures and policies of the Ministry of Information, to use appropriate rubber stamps on all forms, and to completely and accurately fill in all parts of forms marked office use only and or do not write above and or below line?" Someone on the radio says, "I do." Someone else says, "I do." Everybody says, "I do." Radio announcer says, "This is H-SPAN, the Hades Public Affairs Network." Next on, a discussion of the motor vehicle code. All right, speed limits. This is horrible. So hospitals are not 43 because they're different. Speed limit signs are blue. Green is already taken by 59. School zones and 27 mile per hour zones have large signs. Library zones, not to mention 43 mile per hour zones, have medium shaped signs. Turn off radio. X test. Speed limit in a school zone, I am pretty sure that the new answer would be C. Speed limit in a hospital zone is not 43. It is potentially 23. Library zones are 43. Freeway zones, I would assume, are the fastest at 59. Residential zones, let's say 17. Speed limit 23 would be hospital zones. Oops. Speed limit 59 would be freeway zones. And then whatever. Let's get back to DMV employee. Yes. Give test to employee. Okay. I am going to be very honest. I'm going to be very, very honest. I am cheating. Okay, here's a summary of the logic puzzle clues. Each zone has its own speed limit. The zones are school, hospital, library, residential, and freeway. The hospital zone is not the 43 mile per hour zone. The signs in the school zones are blue. Signs in 59 mile per hour zones are green. Signs in school zones and 27 are large. Signs in library zones and 43 are medium. Speed limit in residential is either 17 or 23. Either school or hospital zones are 23. So here's a summary of what you can deduce from these clues. This is a rough puzzle. The school zone is 23. The hospital zone is 27. The library zone is 59. The residential zone is 17. And the freeway zone is 43. Good enough. I'm pretty sure I can try this again. What is the speed limit in a school zone? 23. Speed limit in a hospital zone? 27. I am not sure, and maybe it's just because I'm bad at deducing things, but I don't know how you can deduce all of that from the clues. $43 for the freeway, 17 for the residential. It's residential. It's school. It's library. And I don't know. Give test to employee. She looks over your test skeptically. Fine. You got 90%. You pass. She takes out a camera and snaps a picture of you before you realize what's going on. She walks away from the counter, leaving the room totally devoid of employees, and remains in a back room for several minutes. Finally, she returns and hands you your driver's license. Your score just went up. DMV employee looks at you, obviously annoyed by your continued presence. What more could you want? Go bother someone else. Our score went up. We got the DMV. So let's check out the security office, Celestial Security Office, one more time. Ask the young woman, have you ever filed a claim against your automobile, homeowners, renters, malpractice, health, or dental insurance? The woman replies, I had an automobile accident in 1982, but it wasn't my fault, and I had regular dental checkups between 1981 and 1990 that were billed to my dental insurance. Is there anything... I'm not sure if there's anything here other than flavor text. In what year did Columbus discover America? 1492. Okay. No. So we have... Let's look at the license. In addition to the terrible picture of you with your eyes closed, of course, the license reads Infernal Department of Motor Vehicles. Driver's license. Ferkung, ferkung, ferkung. 35. All that we need. Just a picture, my age, not my date of birth or anything, and my name. All right. He said he was going to... Well, we got pretty far. Let's save. Okay. So I'm just following the walkthrough a little bit right now, just to like move things a little bit forward. Because I missed something that I'm sure will be useful. Gaping hole. Get earrings. Yep. Okay. Out, south, east. Nope. West, south, east. And then I don't know how I was supposed to guess this. Lasso rabbit. Clumsily throw the rope at the rabbit and miss by a mile. You obviously need some practice at this. And then you're supposed to do this multiple times. Throw the rope at the rabbit with a little more confidence, but the rabbit still easily evades the rope. You nearly catch the rabbit this time. Maybe with a little more practice, you could snare it. You manage to catch the rabbit in the loop at the end of the rope. Now feel quite confident with the rope. Wow, character development in a text adventure. What will they think of next? While you're standing there feeling smug, the rabbit wriggles its way out of the rope and runs off. So the entire point of that rabbit is for you to guess that you can lasso with... I don't love that, to be honest. Yeah, okay. So, my instincts in general were right in a lot of these cases. Oops. And that's the challenge with a lot of these, is that in a lot of cases your instincts are right and you just sort of like analogies on the SAT just are so close but so far. This one's particularly mean with these repeated actions. I don't know if I necessarily would have guessed this kind of stuff, because pry open medicine cabinet with crowbar. He says it again. And then we need to follow the programmer. Alright, he finds a suitable replacement mirror, takes it up the counter. So if you follow him, you notice that his ID card drops to the floor. Get card. Don't take it while he's there. Well, thanks. I do love that there's like no real fail conditions though. Like you can just try again. So I think the repetition is definitely part of that. Oh, and because I did that wrong, I missed. Okay. One more try. Travels out in the hall. West down the hall. North to the kitchen. North out the door. Out into the street. North in the lot. Into just mirrors. Wait. Wait. Get card. Bounce. Inferno Lab. Here we are. Put card into slot. So we now have the opportunity here. So we have K. Sorry, this is just on my map so that I know what I'm doing. You insert the card into the slot, and the little red light changes into a little green light. The door slides open. You remove the card, and the light turns red again. Let's go, let's go, let's go. You're in a hallway. A doorway leads south. Another leads north. And a door, which is open, is to the west. Next to the door is a card reader slot, and above the slot is a small red light. There's also a room to the east labeled maintenance. Door slides shut. Well, you're in a small closet-sized room. The only notable feature is a locker, which is closed. Open locker. Seems to be locked. Well, pry open locker with crowbar. It's just a locker. Alright, we'll come back to that. You're in a large lab filled with equipment, all clustered around a disassembled missile. You never realized how big and complex missiles really are. You always pictured them as oversized model rockets with big cylinders full of fuel that you just let on fire and watch it go. The missile here is large and complicated. The rocket motor is lying on the floor with all its cover plates removed, revealing a complex array of pipes and electronic controls. Lying next to the rocket motor is the nose cone and the heat shield, which have been disassembled and removed. Get shield? Taken. Get cone. Can't have the nose cone. The shield is a piece of strange black flexible material about half an inch thick. It's shaped like a shallow bowl about 3 feet in diameter. Okay. Let's look at the motor. The motor is about 20 feet long and 6 feet in diameter. You would always pictured a rocket as being a mostly hollow cylinder full of fuel, but this is actually an extremely complex array of pipes, valves, and electronics. Okay. The cone has been disassembled. The cover panels have all been removed to reveal a network of wires and circuit boards. Interesting. You're in a large laboratory filled with strange equipment. Huge coils of wire, glowing translucent plastic tubes, panels of randomly flashing lights, and in the center of it all is a large glass booth, big enough for a person to stand in. A door leads south. There's a technician here, idly sitting, reading a book. The technician starts telling you about a computer game. Have you ever tried to pick up one of the cursed emeralds, he asks? It's pretty amazing how quickly your character gets killed when you do. Give technician liquor. The technician grabs and immediately drinks the contents. Hey, the boat must be in. Why don't you say so? Cover for me, will you? I'm going to go run over and get some free drinks as long as it's here. He runs gleefully out of the room. Making progress. You're in a large laboratory filled with strange equipment. Huge coils of wire, glowing translucent plastic tubes, panels of randomly flashing lights, and in the center of it all is a glass booth, big enough for a person to stand in. Stand in booth. Enter booth. You're in the large laboratory filled... Okay. Yeah, so I did all that. figured out the man, this is a really great walkthrough. What it's also doing is proving that I did get pretty far. It's just little things. And part of that is like in the way that the words are laid out. So this is very much in that almost adventure. Like I want to say that Zork really did a great job of laying out like, here are your nouns, here are the things you can look at. Where sometimes having it just like in the prose makes it hard to read. At least I feel. Okay. Well. Out. So let's look at this locker. The locker has a dial, which can be turned to positions from 1 to 30. The locker is closed. And the note in the toolbox actually gave us this information. So turn dial to 15. Turn lock dial to 15. Turn lock dial to 24. Turn lock dial to 5. Here, click within the lock mechanism. Open locker. Reveals a maintenance uniform. Get uniform. Wear uniform. Alright, now you're now wearing the maintenance uniform. No one will ever question me, ever. Alright, I am not sure. Well, put card in slot. Alright, so now we can figure this out. Sit. So all of this, look around. It's that. Okay. Well, that's fine. All right. One more time. Out to this house. Put pillow in sink. Pry open cabinet with crowbar. The jammed frame creaks and moans, but it's no match for the crowbar, and it quickly opens with a loud cracking sound. As it comes open, the mirror suddenly snaps out of the frame and lands gently on the pillow. Get mirror. South, west, north, north, east. Nope, north, east, east. South, east, south. Get on table. Up. Interesting. So get on table. And apparently we can go up from here. Up. So I got on table. Grab railing. There we go. With a little effort, you manage to climb up into the rails. You're crouching in the intricate network of rails above the lobby floor. You can't stand up because the ceiling is only a few feet above the top of the rails. But there's plenty of room to move around. You can go down back to the lobby floor. In the ceiling, you notice an access panel. The panel is currently closed. Open panel. Open panel. X panel. It's open. Enter panel. Would not have guessed that from the phrase access panel either. You're in a maintenance crawlway. It's cramped, but you can easily move around on your hands and knees. The crawlway continues to the north and south. You can also climb down through a hole in the floor. Let's go south. Crawlway at a T. Let's go west. You're at the west end of a crawlway. Large metal pipes run along the walls. The crawlway continues to the east. One of the pipes ends here. The end of the pipe is not connected to anything at all. You assume it's being left for future expansion. Just before the end of the pipe is a valve, evidently to cut off the flow of whatever the pipe carries until something is attached here. Well, it's a valve. Let's open it. Turn the wheel, opening the valve. As you do, the pipe starts hissing and you smell natural gas pouring out of the pipe. You hear gas continuing to pour out of the pipe. The odor of gas is getting stronger. Okay. Let's go east. Let's go east again. You're at the east end of a crawlway. There's a small access panel on the floor, which is currently closed, although it's too small for you to go through. Open panel. Look through. Through panel. Through the hole, you can see a room below. The room seems to consist of a series of small cubicles, each separated by a 6-foot-high partition. Each cubicle contains a chair and a desk. In most of the cubicles, a person is occupying the chair. South of the cubicles is a larger white room in which a number of people in white lab coats are moving around, consulting with one another and writing notes in the clipboards they're carrying. Put mirror in panel. Mirror fits well over the opening, covering the hole entirely. Yeah, there's nothing. All right. Whew. Yeah, again, like, I hate using a walkthrough. But it's also, am I going to finish this game? I don't know. I don't think any amount of that was like particularly logical other than following him to the store. But now we can go east. Now we can go south. Sit. In the mirror above, you notice the subjects on your left and right making their selections. The person on your left chooses dynamite, and the person on the right chooses rock. Press paper button. Let's see, you chose paper. The subject on your left chose dynamite, and the subject on your right chose rock. You've won this round. You gain 2 widgets. Your display now reads 7. So left and right, we have rock and paper. You should pick either rock or paper to negate the round. Press rock. So if you can't win, then you tie, and they make you do it over. Rock, scissors, press dynamite. Rock, scissors, press dynamite. Rock, paper, or dynamite, choose paper. Press paper button. Scissors, dynamite. Press scissors, paper, rock. Press rock, rock, dynamite. Press paper button. Dr. Mercury Black announces loudly, "That concludes the experiment. Thank you all for participating. You've provided a great deal of valuable data that will significantly advance this important field of science. Those of you with 15 widgets will now be given your checks." Cubicle's door slides open. One of the men in lab coats walks up to your desk and looks at your console's display. "Congratulations," he says. He gets out a checkbook and proceeds to make out a check for 20 helmets. "Here you go." So I bet we need to... get up. I bet we need to go to the bank, cash, check. Give check to teller. "Thank you. I'll need to see your driver's license, please." Give teller license. "I'll need to see your Celestial security card, please." I don't think I have that. Give card to teller. Okay. How much do we have to wait here? Do you now or have you ever belonged to, endorsed, supported, aided and abetted, given comfort to, made a contribution to, sent back a business reply card from, or developed an advertising slogan for a light beer manufacturer? So I'm not going to read all of these. These are very cute Ask woman name. Ask woman about name. Ask woman about DMV. Please wait until I'm done here. Alright, what's the trick? What is the trick? Okay. I don't think there is a trick. It's just now is not the time. So going... Not this way. Put card in slot. So I was also very close here. X panel. The panel is labeled Inferno Lab Dimensional Networking Products Division Model DN2. Has a large number of dials and buttons and levers, but you feel safest leaving them alone. There is, however, one particularly large red button labeled Activate. Press button. You hear a mechanical male voice through a hidden speaker. Warning, system activated. Commencing primary power sequence. Diagnostics initiated. All personnel report to assigned stations. Stand by. Enter cube. No, column. Tube. Oh, enter booth. System activated. The room begins to vibrate and a loud rumbling sound echoes all around. A glowing fog starts to surround you and the vibration and rumbling are gradually muffled. Soon you hear nothing and see only the strange glow. You feel yourself losing your balance. You squint your eyes, trying to peer through the fog, and reach out for the edge of the booth, but you find nothing where the booth was. You find yourself falling forward, and you reach out to brace yourself, but you just keep falling. You start to hear a distant rumbling sound. The noise grows steadily louder and closer. You start to notice vague shapes out in the fog. The shapes draw closer, and the rumbling grows louder. Suddenly, the glow and rumble are gone. Get out. The voice of Satan in the Amityville Horror. And I think this is a great time to save and call it for the night. This sounds like this is sort of a second act to the game. Maybe it's only like a half act. Who knows? But it has been a while since we've gotten a big quote like that. We are in a large, unfinished basement. The walls are gray cinder block. Some light is provided by a bare bulb hanging from the ceiling. A stairwell leads up. In the east wall is a strange, glowing portal. You realize it's the interdimensional portal that brought you here. A group of people standing around the room suddenly notices your presence. They all gather around you, appearing slightly frightened but curious. The group of people is here, watching you carefully, but keeping their distance. I think that's a great place to call it. thank you very much for coming out for this wonderful Text Adventure Tuesday. We will have this game and who knows, maybe another one next week on Friday at late 10:30 p.m. I'm going to be continuing with Phantasmagoria. On Monday, I will be back to Nethergate, a computer RPG. And then next Tuesday is we're going to finish up this game. And I'm going to see what kind of shorter games from this era maybe we can find. Definitely, I want to check out Humbug. Thank you for hipping me to that, Emmy. That's really, really cool. And yeah. Let's thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you for all the follows over the past day. Likes the Bacon, Benez, Angelus, Point Then Click was yesterday. Demo Horse Derby was yesterday too. So thank you everybody. Definitely please keep coming out. It makes everything much more fun. And yeah. As Jerry might say, don't forget to X yourself. And let